קהלת פרק ז' פסוק י"ג, ראה את מעשה האלוהים, כי מי יוכל לתקן את אשר עבדתו. פסוקים האלו, this following פסוקים talks about שכר ועונש. שלמה המלך is telling us that a person has to focus that HaKadosh Baruch Hu pays to the tzaddikim reward, and he punishes the Rasha'im. But Moshe Rashi brings down, Re'eh et ma'aseh ha'elohim, איך הוא מתוקן. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and watch, הכל לפי הפעולה של האדם. Everything is by the people's actions. גן עדן לצדיקים, וגיהינם לרשעים. Kadosh Baruch Hu made גן עדן לצדיקים, גיהינם לרשעים. ראה, watch, lecha be'eze tidbak. Watch what way you're going to choose to go. If you're going to choose the path of the tzaddikim, the end result is Gan Eden. If you'll choose the derech rashaim, the end result is going to be Gehinam. Ve'azomer re'em, since there is two ways, tzaddikim berasha'im, Gan Eden beGehinam. Re'eh, watch what you do. Why? Because after 120, mi yuchal letaken et asher iveto. After a person dies, who can fix? You cannot fix anything. Once a person left the world, that's it. You'll beg for your lives. They're not going to give you anything. And then it's the time to get either reward or punish. When you do things in life, when you make decisions in life, when you have to open your mouth, when you got to do things, watch before you do, think before you say. Because if your decisions is going to be the wrong ones, after 120, you're not going to be able to fix. Kol od v'haner dolek efshar letaken. As long as the candle is still on, you can still fix. You know the famous story, I think it was from Misalant. He saw a shoemaker, sits and he was fixing shoes, and it's getting late. Soon it's the sunset, and he's still fixing the shoes, and it's about to get dark. So he goes to him, tells him, "What are you doing?" Soon it's dark. So he tells him, as long as the candle is still on, I could work. I could fix, I could make money. The minute the candle is off, no longer, that's it, the fire is off, then I'm gonna have to close my shop. So he told him, as long as the candle is on, I could still fix. Rabbi Yonatan left his shop, and he said, "Wow, what a lesson I learned today. What a lesson I learned today. Look what a shoemaker just taught me. He just said, as long as the candle is on, I can still fix." He says, wow, the neshama is a candle. As long as the candle is on, you can still fix. But once the candle no longer exists and the Neshama alcha, you cannot fix anything. So what's the message we're learning from this pasuk? Number one, how much we should appreciate every minute of our life. People that are stuck in the past. I didn't do, I didn't learn, I wish. They're stuck. They will never grow. A person has to say, I got another day. Let me reach my potential. I got another day. Let me do the right decisions in life. In Yiddish, it's called chaparayim. Catch, boss, timale. Timale ta'agala. They give you a wagon. Go around the store. Shop. Fill it up. אומר שלמה בפסוק י"ד בכבודה בי.
ביום טובה היה בטוב, ביום רעה ראה. גם את זה לעומת זה עשה האלוהים על דברת שלא ימצא אדם אחריו מאומה.
ביום טובה היה בטוב. Look what Rashi says. ביום שיש בידך לעשות טובה, היה בעושה הטובה. If it's in your hand to do good, grab and do it. Why? כי וביום רעה תראה. The day HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to punish the Rasha'im, you'll be on the side of people that you'll watch. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. So what's the lesson? Whatever you can do throughout the day, just do it and do the best thing you can. In every aspect that you can do in work. Whatever you do in work, do the best thing that you can do. If you serve your customers, do to the best. If somebody needs your help in your field, do the best. If you get a phone call, somebody needs your help and you can do it, go ahead and do it. Somebody calls you, listen, somebody's in the hospital, can you come with me? You have an hour free time, go, do it, grab. Somebody needs your help, somebody needs something. Omer Rashi, biyom sheyesh biyadcha la'asot tova, hayeh ba'oseh ha'tova, the day you're able to do something good, go ahead and do it. Especially you're young, you're fresh, you have the power, you have the kohort, you have the energy to do it. Certain age, you can dream to do it, but you can't. Because you're already old. In kohort, the body is not the same. Omer Shlomo HaMelech, the days you can do good, tahtov, don't wait. If you just focus on that line, you have opportunities in life. How many people, first, in your house, that you can help? And don't get just stuck in your house. Some people, they get just stuck in their house. I'm helping my wife and their kids, but then that's all he has. No, extend your hesed outside. And some people are always busy outside and they miss the inside. So let's be normal. Both. I told you once a story. This rabbi, I think was Rabbi Hasman. I think it was him. He saw his friend, which was also a rabbi. He takes his son and he asks him, where are you going? So he tells him, to the doctor. My son is not feeling well. So I take him to the doctor. So the rabbi asked him, can I ask you a question? What's the difference between you and the cow? You take care of your son, and the cow takes care of her calf. Then what's the difference between you and an animal? You love your son, and she loves her calf, her baby also. What's the difference between you and the cow? Yeah, Avi. There's no difference. All the same.
You have the authority to think and their work on instinct.
Good. So, Amar lo harav to spell, let me tell you. The difference between you and an animal, and I really hope you will take it with you. If you think that you and the animal are the same height, maybe I don't know why you have a beard then. The difference is huge. We have mind. And when a father or a mother takes the kid to the doctor, it's because you're doing a chesed with a human being. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you a kid, meaning he trusts in you that you'll do a good job with this soul that he gave you. Happens to be it's your son. Happens to be it's your daughter. That soul that came down from heaven, down here, it belongs to Hashem. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for whatever reason, he decided that you and your wife are the best parents for that specific child. And if Hashem gave you that boy or that girl, that daughter, you better know and think that Hashem made things that you'll be the best parent for those kids. And if that's the case, HaKadosh Baruch Hu give me a child, and when the kid is sick, I'm doing a chesed with a Jew. I'm doing a chesed with a soul. I'm doing a chesed with Hashem's son. Happens to be, I'm his father. But that kid belongs to Hashem.
How's this?
And it's more collateral. Hashem Natan li. Animals, they work with instruments and klum. And for mahshava, there is no thoughts, there is no chesed, there is no I'm guiding klum. Be'emaz instinct, kamano. And we have mind. So when you as a father or a mother, you take your son to the doctor, or when you go to the pharmacy and you pick up a cream, even something, a lotion. Now it's the season of the mosquito bites, right? So you get this spray. You go to the store and you buy, and you spray on your kids. Do you know what you're doing? I'm taking away a pain from a neshama that Hashem gave me to watch over. So I am doing chesed. Just think about it. Just think about when you go to the store and you buy food. I'm doing a tremendous chesed with that neshama that I can able to feed them. When the baby is crying in the middle of the night or throughout the day, and she needs a diaper change, and you go ahead and you change diaper, do you know what do? You're taking away a pain from a baby that it cannot do anything. That's a tremendous, tremendous chesed. No, it's my wife's job. What? This has nothing to do with the wife or you. Hashem gave you a kid. You do the best that you can to provide and to help and to educate that kid. Are you doing your job? That's the question. That's the question. Don't throw on your wife. You take it to the doctor, you take him to the school, you change, and I go home, I know I gotta work. Wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Obligation?
You brought a child to this world, your responsibility. What chesed?
Once again,
You brought something to you. Brought
you
Okay, what do you mean? Your partner's with
Hashem
Hashem.
gave
Okay,
Go ahead, yeah.
but you're saying it was your action, right?
Action
That brought something to this world.
that Hashem gave.
Hashem gave, yes.
Once again, you
But
did
it's an obligation.
Stop.
What that
Whoa, whoa,
mean?
whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. You did an action. There's many people do actions, but they don't get the gift.
Okay,
Hashem gave you a gift.
correct.
Now, after that. Now, the gift that Hashem gave me, some people take that gift and they don't know how to appreciate. Some throw the gift on the wife. It's easy to say responsibility, but what is the meaning of responsibility? Up to what age? There is age b'halakha, just for you to know that. There's age b'halakha until what age you have. You have to, but forget about responsibility. I'm talking about much more than the responsibility. When you sign the ketubah, do you know what you signed? There is 10 obligations that you as a husband, you owe your wife. 10. One of them that if she gets sick, you signed that you'll take care of her. Now, you're right, I signed that I will take care of her. But besides signing, when you take her to the doctor or when you buy her medicine, is that only responsibility or that's hesed involved in your responsibility?
So the cows don't
There's chesed
chesed
within
without
the
thinking.
Stop. It's a behema en la
I know,
machshava for you.
that's obvious.
No, ma pitom. No, ma pitom. She has no choice to say no. You have a choice to say no. That's a difference. Oh, hold on.
But the act is both chesed.
Again, you have a choice
Yeah.
to say no. She doesn't.
Well, if
The
it's
robot.
an obligation, you also don't have a choice.
I have obligation. I can say no.
Saying
How many people they have obligations and they do nothing?
you
Yeah.
have the free will to say no.
Again, many people they could sign, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just scratch. City. But there is something above than responsibility. I am responsibility to my family. That means I'm a father, I'm a good husband, but in that responsibility, what's involved is where's your mind? The mind is hesed. V'vadai. It's a hesed 24 sha'ot, 24 hours. The Gemara says, how can a person do hesed 24 hours straight? אומרת הגמרא, זה הזן את בניו הקטנים. That person who supports his young kids, they cannot do anything. They barely go to the store and ask for bread. They're little. You go ahead and you provide them food. So you're doing hesed every single hour of the day.
So you have to think that what you're doing is chesed, or
should.
you just do it.
You should do it. You should think.
So if you make every mitzvah, you think what you're doing, it makes it better.
100%. ודאי.
No,
Why רבנו אריזל אמר לשם יכול before every mitzvah? למה? That gives you the kavanah. That gives the kavanah. You take a haircut.
Oh, 17.
You take a haircut. If you could only think how many mitzvot I said the oraita you have. Just think about it before.
it's only think about it
Yes.
before.
Yes.
If you don't think, you don't get the.
It's
not
a
a-
big sign on
יפה.
the. Here, have
אתה
the-
שומע? You go, you take a shower. It's the same idea.
You gotta
Just
think-
think,
Yeah,
okay,
think
I'm
about
so
it.
hot. Okay, that's one way. Or I'm cleaning my body to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way a slave, Eved, serves his king, Melech. Why people, you see them on the Sundays or Shabbat, the Goyim, they lay on the floor and they just clean the tire.
The rim.
Should be shiny. Mashu. 3 hours, clean the car, shines, got a shemish. Makara. He wants to drive and everybody should look, wow, my car looks hadid, right? Then your body is not less than that. And we believe that our body is not only just a body, it's holy. You know what's the proof? Because halakha is, if a person sees b'sha'ah that a Jew dies, if Adam omed b'sha'at hamita, what's the halakha? You have to rip your clothes, even though he's not one of the 7 relatives. How we don't do it is because people will just walk away, not to rip the clothes. That's why. So Hachamim, you know what? Okay, Patur, just stay next to the dead. So Hazit Shushulamut Levad. But technically, halakha wise, a person has to rip his clothes. Lama dome leroe sefer Torah shenisraf. So our body, and that's why we bury their bodies. Versus goyim, they burn. They're right. They're not wrong. In their beliefs, they are 100% right. Why should I spend money of burial and anyway? I'm not going to see you anyway. It's better than recycle. But we believe the same halakha that says if a sefer Torah is a pasur, you have to be gonez, you have to take it and bury the sefer Torah. The same thing is the case of the sefer Torah. You cannot take a case of the sefer Torah and throw it to the garbage. Zalama tik shel sefer Torah has kedusha the same way as sefer Torah. Our body and our neshama is sefer Torah, and our body is the case for sefer Torah. Once the sefer Torah leaves the neshama, the body is case of sefer Torah. What do?
Bury it.
You take it to the mikveh before. You wash the body. You take it, bekdusha, betahara, bekavot el niftar. You ask mehila from the niftar. You know the Hebrew Kadisha, they ask mehila from the niftar. If has shalom, we know we did it the proper way or something. Shetimhalanu, at kedekach, his guy is dead. Lo mshane. הגוף קדוש. מה זה כשבעל ואישה חיים בקדושה ובטהרה? The body is kadosh. What does it mean when you eat kosher food? Your body, the case, has no dent. What is when you take letters? The body is kadosh. What is when you put the tefillin? When a wife goes to a mikveh, the body is kadosh. When your thoughts are so positive, the mitzvot, the hesed, the hirhurim, your thoughts is only good in kedusha. When you take notes, your fingers, sefer Torah. No wonder why we kiss the rabbi's hands. Why would we go to our parents? We kiss their hands. Do you know what they did for me? It's kavod. It's an honor. The other way around. Curses, dirty words. Hashem Shmo. Our nose. Brachot, atzeh besamim, mineh besamim. Ha'av shelanu kadosh. Our nose, ha'av kadosh. Ze'av, just think how many years every Motzei Shabbat you make birkat atzeh besamim, mineh besamim. So our nose gave us the opportunity to make the beracha. So how much I owe credit to my nose? Tגיד תודה רבה, זה לא אף, זה משהו קדוש. And our mouth, משהו. אותיות של התורה, אותיות גרוניות, א', ה', ח', עין. Let's go up. ג', י', כ', ק'. Let's go up. ד', ל', ט', נ', ת'. Let's go up. ז', ס', צדיק, סין, סמך. נמשיך. ב, ו', מ', פ'. תראו מה יוצא לי from only the mouth, from the teeth, the tongue. The tongue. What does the tongue do to us? How many years of Torah you're learning and you're reading? בזכות your teeth. תגיד זין בלי שיניים. שם ישמון, זה מפחיד. So just think how every part of our body וכולו מצוות, כל הגוף שלנו. But just think, if I take this little baby and I change diapers, I'm taking my little son or my little daughter and you give them a bath. You're helping them get dressed. זה כל זה 24 שעות חסד. Instead, Han, take him. ביום שיש בידך לעשות טובה, you're throwing away to your wife. Forget about what you have to do, or forget about what you have to help. Forget about being a fatherhood. Forget about everything. Just think about this line. ביום שיש בידך לעשות טובה. It's in your hand to help your wife, your son. You take that chesed and you throw it away.
You get two chesed. You're helping your wife and the child.
And yourself.
That's tough.
If we could only take this line and download, 50% of marriage issues would never exist. Maybe even 100%. I'm just being nice. But I'm just being nice. Think about grab. It's not forget about you. You know, you have to do this. I got to forget about what you have to. I have opportunity to do. Grab it. למה? אומר שלמה המלך, מה למדנו עכשיו? כי מי יוכל לתקן את אשר חטאתו? After 120, bye-bye. No longer, you're not going to be able to do this mitzvot anymore. You're not going to be lucky to do this anymore. A father, young father, cancer, has to say goodbye to his kids. I don't wish anybody to see this image ever. Ever. The biggest pain is I'm leaving my kids behind and I will never be there for them anymore. Never. And Baruch Hashem, you help them. And you have kids. And you have the opportunity. And you're young. And Hashem, thank you so much for another beautiful day. Let me take my kids. Let me help. Because Has V'Shalom, to reach these things, a young father, 28, 32, cancer, he cannot do anything to his kids unless they goodbye. One of the biggest and the hardest moments, I'm not going to be there for them. I'm not going to join them anymore. And now, if he wants to do, he can't. The one is bad. So what do you got to think now? Baruch Hashem Ribono Shel Olam. I'm healthy. I'm young. I have kids to take care. Let me run. But my wife, who cares what she says? Do what you got to do. And do it to the max. And do it happily. Baruch Hashem. Why? Omer ki biyom sheyesh biyadcha. You're healthy, you can do it. Go ahead and do it. There is people that are not fortunate to do this. There is people that they don't have even kids to do that. I told somebody last week, I shared a beautiful story. Someone wrote to a rabbi, a big rabbi, a letter, and he's describing his pain, his tza'ar gidul banim with his kids, and his marriage is so shaken up and down, and he has issue with his father-in-law, and also with the neighbors. Life is so not pleasant. And that's the letter he wrote to his rabbi. His rabbi. The rabbi read the letter and respond back to that person. What you write is not reality. Once again, I wrote your letter. I read your letter, and I see that what you're telling me is not real. זה לא המציאות. Something is off. It doesn't, what do you mean? You tell them you're writing, you have צער גידול בנים. Omer, I don't have kids. I'm almost close to 70 years old. I don't have kids. You're writing, you have צער גידול בנים. I have tzar gidul banim. Let me explain you what is it. What's the definition of tzar gidul banim? Someone who has no kids, יש לו צער שהוא לא יכול לגדל בנים. You have kids? How can you write tzar gidul banim? It doesn't. What you're writing, it's not reality. Something is off over here. You hear מה אמר לו? אמר לו, לי יש צער שאין לי גידול בנים. You have kids? How can you say צער גידול בנים? Do you hear something? Do you hear that? Someone that doesn't have kids, he can say, יש לי צער כי אין לי גידול בנים. But you have kids. Part of raising children is the up and down. It's this, it's the struggle, but that's the beauty of having children. You grow with them, and you walk away, and you run away. It's so sad. It's so sad. And you know something? What kind of tools do you give your children? That's the biggest thing in life. We, Baruch Hashem, we're young, and if you're gonna realize, when you have issues in marriage, on business, the first reaction that you'll do is you'll copy your father. Watch. If you have something with your wife, your reaction will be, you will respond the same way your father did. If you saw a father that was screaming on his wife, which is your mother, you'll be very free to scream at your wife because that's what my father did. If your father was quiet and he was trying to understand your mother, which is his wife, will do the same thing. That's the first reaction that the person has. So I want to go back a minute. We as fathers, if we have issues in marriage, and guess what? We all have. Remember, your children are watching every move you do. And you know something? Whatever you're going to do, however you're going to respond, however you're going to help, that's how he's going 90% to do in his own home as he gets older. What kind of a mother you want to be? A mother that screams, stress, she feels it's okay to yell. What is this? It's wrong. Some people, because I'm under stress, so you give yourself a green light to scream, to curse. It doesn't work that way. It's the kids who pick up every move we do at home. And you know something? When you're in work and business, the same way. I can tell you from experience, I see children in school, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, many children over the years. And believe me, those kids, that the home functions normal, the kids in school work normal. They have homework, they come, put together. Life is very normal to them. But when the house is up and down, Habibi, you can see the kids. It's so obvious. And kids that you see that they have issues with friends, go check the parents. Go check how the mother solves a problem between her and her sister-in-law. They don't talk. You don't talk, guess what happens? Your son gets into a fight with his friend, he doesn't talk. Or let's take the other way around. She has some issues with the neighbor, and she has something to do with the mother-in-law, and she has some issues with the brother-in-law. guess what? If you'll find a way to merge and to communicate, you don't have to be the best friend, but you know how to communicate minimal. You're giving your son a way how to communicate with his friends that he has some issues. You don't have to be his best friend, but you don't have to turn him into a victim. That's things that we as parents, we have to know this. We have to know that how we behave at home, that's how we give our children. One of the biggest gifts that my father gave me, it was the Rabbi Alama Shalom. Do you know what does it mean to have a home with Da'at Torah? Do you know what does it mean when you have a home that you have a rabbi involved? Think. We all have issues, and sometimes everybody thinks that he is right. But guess what? When you have a rabbi involved in your marriage, in your life, I'm not going to go far. I'll tell you by myself. When I was 13, I think, as a regular kid thinks that they're smart and they're smarter than their parents, right? Especially as you get 15, 16, you think your parents are so dumb, and I wish I could have educated them because they don't know anything. And I wish they would come to me and ask me, I would just guide them. They don't understand those parents. They're so old, right? You're laughing, it's a good sign. So it's good. Danny and Ethan are doing very well, Baruch Hashem. So you have to know that when I was 13, I remember I had an issue with my parents. And I'll tell you the issue. There's nothing to be embarrassed because this is in every home. I had one sister at that time. I think she was baby. So we had a brother, a sister, 7 boys after. And the way I saw it as a kid, they were playing favorites, her versus us. Why she has one bedroom and we have to share 5 boys in one bedroom? I don't like this. And how come you cannot go to her room and she can come to our room? And how come you cannot open her closet and she can open my closet? What's going on over here? It's racist. It's not fair. I was so upset. You're young, you're dumb. Well, she's a sister. You don't go to her room. There is things that you shouldn't see when you open the closets. Sniot-wise. The little thing when you're a little kid. Because I was blank. Things of sniot, act to Shabbat, Babayit. I never ever saw anything in it. Ever. Do you believe me? Ever. That's how was the house. So as I remember, I was 13. I was so upset with my parents. What's going on? And she came to our room. Yes. Well, she was the mother, second mother of the house. And she did the laundry and she put everything and she put everything in our drawers. Tell me because you are dumb. So I was very upset. Guess what? My father, I will never forget. He came to me and told me, you want to speak to the rabbi? And whatever rabbi is going to say, we're going to do. Meaning he gave me the opportunity to go and complain to authority on top of all of us. Because we knew what is a Da'at Torah in the house, I knew that if I'm going to go to the rabbi and my father is wrong, my father would follow him. There is no, I'm a father. It's not a title, you Moshe Rabbeinu. You can do mistakes. But guess what? If I saw between my father and my mother that if there's any question, you go to a rabbi, so my father could say, oh, I'm sorry, or my mother could say, I'm sorry. He could say also, I'm sorry to me. But at the same time, I learned that if I'm wrong, I should say sorry also to Abba. That's the key over here. So we grew up knowing there is someone on top of all of us. Sometimes you could be wrong, and sometimes they could be wrong. But at the end of the day, we have someone to ask. Do you know what type of a tool it gave me? That in school, later on in life, when you do business, later on when you have problems with people, Rabbi, ma'alacha. Oops, I was wrong. Correct me. Rabbi, ma halacha? No, you're right. Oh, then I know I'm right. I'll stand up for my rights. Do you get? When kids see that anhaga b'bayit, they'll pick up so fast. But it's not going to happen right away. It's going to happen later on. I'm going to mention someone in the shul. I would like to mention this in the shul. So father had an issue with his son about something. So the father wanted A and the kids wanted a B. Now, instead of clashing with the kid, he was very smart. He tells him, you know what? We're going to ask Rabbi Admoni. Mark it, yes. So the father and the son came to me and they asked me the question. Now, I knew what's behind that question. It's because the kid is around friends. And if he's not going to act in a certain way, he's not so cool. So instead of saying to him no, I first ask him, right, you don't feel cool because of ABC? He says yes. Okay. So now how could I make him feel that he's so cool? I opened the book of the Hafetz Haim and I showed him 2 lines there. And I asked him, do you want to be with the Hafetz Haim or you want to be with your friends? Amatilo, what do you think it's more cool in Gan Eden to be? Next to the Hafetz Haim HaKadosh or next to some yo-yos? With the Hafetz Haim. Amatilo, then you are a cool kid. Do what the Hafetz Haim tells you to do. And you know what happened? The father is very smart. Why should I clash with my son head to head? Let me just ask the rabbi, let him do what the rabbi, and the rabbi will find a way how to explain and give him tools. But you know what the big thing was between that kid and the father? He gave his son a tool that when he is going to be 17 or 20 or 25 or 30 or 45, he's going to have someone to ask him. And he's going to solve the problems at home and business, in everything in life. The way we act, that's how our children, 90%, going to follow our footsteps. What do you got to do? Take this line of today's Chokhmat Haim, wisdom of life. Beyom sheyesh biyadcha la'asot tova ta'aseh. Because one day, you're not going to be able to do so. One day, you're going to look backwards. Ma'asiti. I lost their childhood. Ze kol kach koev. Ze kol kach koev. And I told you, and I'm going to say it again. I was once by my friend's wedding. He married off his last daughter. And right after the whole party, he tells me, I don't believe. I just married my last daughter. And the reaction was, I lost her childhood. I was never there. PTA. I was business, money. I barely sat down with her to do homework. I barely spent time with her as a child. And now, boom, she's 20, boom, out of the house. Upitum, he just woke up. He's 50, but he felt, I lost her childhood. Well, I remember his face. You think to yourself, wow, what a beautiful day, it's her wedding. But in his heart, he felt such a pinch. I lost my daughter for 20 years. So now the house is empty. Now every day she's going to come to you, you'll beg her, come. But she's going to turn to you, where were you when I needed you? When I was 9 and I wanted a father to come to the PTA and hear some good words, you were away. When I was sick, you were never there. It was only mom who took me to the doctor. When I wanted the days to get a hug from you from coming back from a very hard day in school, where were you then? Come as a koev. So we have to jump Baruch Hashem, I'm not 50. And Baruch Hashem, my kids are so young. And Baruch Hashem, they're not before a wedding, so I can grab every moment with the children, every moment with the wife. Stop looking at the small stupidities at home. Look at the big picture. You have a friendship. A wife is your best friend. Don't look at her as an enemy. She just ruins my life. No. Life is beautiful. Be smart. Don't get into those small things. Look at the big picture. I have a friend. You come home, you have a dinner. You could talk to somebody. You can laugh. You can share the stories about the kids. You could go for a walk. Sometimes there is up and down, so it's okay. Life is not an aquarium. If you go to an aquarium, everything's fine. The fish, they don't fight. And remember, marriage is not an aquarium. It's a zoo. Yes, absolutely, it's a zoo. But when you go to a zoo, before you come in, you got to pay. And then you watch the beautiful animals. That's also here. Before you get married, you got to pay. And once you go inside, it's a beautiful, beautiful homes. Make sure to turn your house to a place of Gan Eden.